Hello and welcome to Offbeat Travel VK. Again, I bought this new video with a lot of feedback from our 2021 OCI application for an adult that I had posted, which actually is one of the best video this channel has ever produced. I'm making a 2025 version today based on all the feedback that I received. So thank you for all the comments and emails and all the well wishes that I receive. Keep up the support. But I do need some help. I do need to hit 10,000 subscribers. This channel has so much love. It has gotten almost 7,000 views and above. But I just need 1 or 2% of that to hit subscribe. That'll take me way beyond 10,000. So do support me and keep motivating me because it does take a lot of time and effort to make this video happen. So a little bit of motivation and push helps me a lot. So I do need everyone to subscribe and then hit the thumbs up again. It helps with the algorithm. It really puts this video on top. Recently, a comment came in saying that this is one of the highest video that came up on ChatGPT. So I thank everyone for that. Without further ado, this is the latest application for OCI for an adult who was formerly an Indian citizen. There were some changes I observed as well. I went through the whole process last evening and I've kind of curated this video for you all. So let's check that out. So as mentioned, there was a few changes optically in terms of the website as well. So I first wanted to jump in, show you the new website. This is how it looks. Initially, if you've seen my old videos, it looked orange. These are the new web pages for OCI application. So I clicked around a little bit. Again, it shows you the welcome page, and then there is an eligibility criteria. Obviously, you need to make sure you are actually truly eligible. The government has tightened a few things, which I'll also cover, which does not allow just random applications to come in. So one thing they've actually introduced, which I wanted to show you here, is actually the flow diagram. So this flow diagram is very clearly depicting, you come to the home page. This step is absolutely new user registration. Initially, you could create random applications as a signed out user, which was also hard to track when you lost the application halfway. But actually user registration, login, select the right OCI application, part 1, part 2, then upload of your photograph and signature, then part B, then your document upload, verification before you hit submit, and then you generate your government ARN form. This is what will make your ARN number that you will pay VFS if you're doing it by mail. So this is what I wanted to cover today. So yes, there are some changes. Process roundabout remains the same. Look and feel of the website is different. But again, I'm just showing you, looking through the terms and conditions, what you can do with OCI, what you cannot do. Make sure this fits your need and your requirements and your family's requirements. So this is just, again, a tutorial video. Follow this video to make your application successful, but again, tailor it as per your needs and requirements. So this is actually the new website. So this is what I wanted to cover initially. There was some feedback on this, great feedback from you guys, as I mentioned. Keeps me motivated. I've been making constant videos since 2020. My OCI video from 2021 was the highest grossing video, and I've actually decided to make a new version. So I'll go to the VFS website. Again, VFS is the payment body, and they actually pre-process your application before it goes to the embassy. So I usually come here, check it out. I wanted to share this page with you. Again, check the terms and conditions. Do you qualify? Did you have anything that disqualifies you? Make sure all of that is checked out before you actually start your application. So as I showed you here, make sure you renounce your Indian citizenship first before you come to this step. So that is something that I wanted to call that out. Once all those steps are done, again, look through the eligibility criteria. Only then go and apply, because again, it's $275 plus additional fees. So I want to make sure you actually find the worth of actually doing this, right? Not just the process, the payment, and all the documentation that you need to send. So as I mentioned, today's topic is document checklist for foreign national previously held an Indian passport as an adult. The second one I'm not covering today, which is foreign national by birth, never held an Indian passport. Maybe a topic for a different time, but today is foreign national previously held an Indian citizenship and now is applying for OCI. So again, 3 parts: document checklist, ARN application form, and payment. So I will cover all 3 today. So the first one I really want to cover, as usual, is actually the document checklist, because without this, it's very hard to actually even finish the OCI application online, because you need a lot of these to be uploaded. So the first important step is the form itself. I will cover that in a minute. But again, you have to select the right application. If you're never applied for OCI, you make sure you select the right qualification and criteria. And if you're making an update to your current OCI application or like your previously applied application, you need to do OCI miscellaneous. If you had PIO, there's a separate selection for that. If you lost your PIO card, there is a different application. And then, of course, if you already finished your application, if you just want to reprint, you just can do it by reprinting the application. The second and important item here is the photo requirements, right? You need 2 physical photographs as well. And then obviously you need your digital photograph. That's the same. It is actually the photograph of your physical photograph, 2x2. These are all the requirements for both the physical photograph and the digital photograph. So make sure you follow, read through this, take your time, maybe on a weekend, and get your picture done correctly, and make sure you don't miss anything that they have covered here. Just wanted to show all the use cases here. Make sure whatever is applicable for you, you are looking at that. Just wanted to show you that in a quick glance. And then the digital signature, again, you need to sign on a piece of white paper, take a photograph in 16:9 format, and then upload it to the computer under 1000 KB, which is in JPEG format, and then make sure that it's uploadable when we actually come to the application. And I will show you that as well. Make sure you get a current copy of your valid passport. So if you're a US citizen, that's a US passport. Make sure it's valid for 6 months and you print it out. Original is not needed. Make sure that document is self-attested. Make sure you have your old Indian passport's copy as well, the pages that they've requested, the first 2 pages and the first 2 last pages. Copy, self-attested. Naturalization, if you acquired citizenship through naturalization, copy a photocopy of it and then self-attested. Make sure it's signed by you. Obviously when you become a citizen of the US, you sign, and then you make sure that it's it has all the right signature and the format. Copy of your renunciation certificate, which I just mentioned. You need to, if you gave up your Indian citizenship, make sure you finish that process first. The video is there in my profile. Copy of that, signed, self-attested. Proof of legal status of USA. If you're a British citizen living in America and working, this is for you, or like any other situation. Make sure you have a valid visa, green card, EAD, etc. Photocopy of that and sign. You have to still provide proof of your marital status unless you're single. And as this is actually a critical step. If the marriage happened outside of India, make sure first, even before you start your application, whichever state in the United States you got your marriage, get your marriage certificate apostilled well in advance before you start this process, because then once the process is sent and if you have a missing document, you have a very short turnaround. So don't make that mistake. Name change document, again, whatever examples are applicable for you. For some reason, some people change their name, after marriage, but some people also change after they become US citizen. They probably drop a middle name, etc. Make sure you read this step really carefully if the name change document applies to you. Next, employment letter, very standard format. Just ask your HR to get a copy of, what your designation is, maybe what department you work in and since when you're working. Very basic employer letter. If you ask any employer in the US, they will provide you that, and tell them that it's for OCI or like a visa process, and they will gladly give you that. So make sure you get that, a very latest copy. And then obviously, if you're not working or if you're self-employed, please follow the rules for that. In case your parents had and your spouse had OCI, in if that situation is applicable, make sure a copy is provided and it is self-attested. So make sure all these documents are in preparation before even you start the process. Copy of Indian visa. Maybe at one point of time you had to go to India even before OCI was applied. Make sure you print out that old visa, self-attest it. Proof of address, again, copy of your state issued driver license. Make sure you print front and back both on a piece of paper, and then that address should match the address in your application. And then you can self-attest it towards the bottom of the page. That's the easiest, but you can provide other things as well, valid bills, etc., etc. Proof of native address for non-US nationals living in the USA. I think I covered, like, if you're a UK citizen, was a former Indian citizen, but you work in America, you need to provide your address in the UK as an example, or if you're from Canada. So your home country of where your passport is, you need to provide that address and valid documents for that. So make sure that is provided and that is notarized. So that is clearly mentioned here. And if you have dual citizenship, make sure you read through this carefully and you provide the right documents. This is something that's new that came through, affidavit in lieu of originals, which is actually really helpful for the government or the officials. You basically don't send any of originals anymore. You basically solemnly swear that every copy, photocopy, self-attested that you sent, list it out in this, and then you get that notarized. You basically say everything in terms of the copies that I have here are true in its form, and then you're basically getting that notarized. So this notary is very important, so make sure that is notarized. That was the affidavit in lieu of originals. Next one, undertaking of an OCI applicant. Again, they're basically saying everything that I've uploaded, all the information that I've given is all true and I'm not falsifying anything. So you actually sign up and you basically sign their name and date, and you add your government ARN number up there. Next is consent letter, something that's new versus my previous video. Again, very helpful. Put your government ARN number once you finish the form, and then you basically sign here. All you're saying is, if there are mistakes here on the application, the embassy reserves the right to correct some small mistakes, which is actually very helpful. That was the consent letter. This line number 18 is new. Undertaking of surrender of voter ID and ration card. So you basically, again, have to just write your name, your date, place, signatures, and you're basically saying, I'm not going to vote anymore, and I'm basically surrendering all my documents, and you are, true to the application. So do that. And then obviously it's mandatory for all prior Indian citizens, so it's definitely needed. And then obviously the last thing, fee receipt, right, which I'll show you again. You have to go on VFS to make your payment, and then when you get to that step, I will share in detail on what needs to be done. And then the additional information, just read through this again. Make sure all the documents that you are physically sending with the document or with the package, you have a soft copy or a digital copy of all of those, right? And the size of those should be under 1000 KB or basically 1 MB. If you need compression, just compress all these documents in Adobe compressor, and you can get that done before you start the application. So make sure all these 15-16 items are also present in digital copies in advance to your application, because when you get to the document upload process in the government ARN form, a lot of these will have to be uploaded. So make sure this is ready in advance, so when you actually start the application, you don't stop anywhere. You finish it through and through. They've also called out common mistakes. They seem very trivial, but sometimes if people make these mistakes, it just delays the application. So make sure everything is submitted, all the documents, all the digital copies are correctly uploaded and they match everything that you submitted. Make sure your contact information, part A, part B. Sometimes people forget to sign. I mean, I myself forgot to sign for my minor. The thumbprint was there, but I forgot to sign. So they actually asked me to reprint and submit that document, right? Even I've made that mistake, right? Humanly, it's possible. Proof of your native address, as I mentioned, if you're on a visa in the US, and if you have a different passport, make sure that's done. All supporting documents need to be in PDF format, and the photograph and signature can be in JPEG. Very trivial, but people make mistakes. They try to upload PNG files and then it doesn't happen. And then people reach out to me as well, and I try to help as much as possible. Upload all the correct documents in the correct category. This is another mistake. People try to upload things in the wrong category in the uploading section. So I'll show you that section as well. So make sure you put in the right uploading documents in the right section. And most important is to upload all the supporting documents. Whatever is asked, make sure everything is uploaded. And I think that covers this entire document checklist. I know it took a little bit time, but make sure you carefully read it, gather all the documents, then start actually trying to apply. So get all the hard copies and then the soft copies ready. So I'm going to reshare the OCI process flow diagram. This is actually really nimble from the government. They've done this and they've actually guided you. So kudos to them. So if you're coming here for the first time, you hit user register and you register yourself. So you give your details, surname, make sure everything follows your passport. So don't make a mistake, and also make sure the date of birth format is not incorrect. So whatever your US passport or like foreign passport, make sure you fill all the details exactly as that. And then again, there is a security check here. Your IP address has been monitored. So, the government has tightened a little bit of, these applications, which is actually perfect and actually is much needed. It reduces, a lot of false applications. Once you register, you will actually have to log in. So I'm just showing you this. This is my own account, and it will show you, once you log in, it'll show you 2 tabs on your dashboard, and it'll actually tell you to finish filling your profile. So fill last name, first name, give all the details. I'm just not adding it here because again, sensitive information, but you have to fill all this and you hit update profile. And once you hit update profile, you'll actually see the dashboard. Once you fill in your details, you will actually land in the home page that I mentioned, the dashboard page. So I'm actually just showing you how to do that. And then I'm just hiding the sensitive information. Once you hit update profile, after submitting all the right information, you land on this dashboard, right? Again, if there is a previous application, it all shows up. So it's very connected now with this profile creation. Kudos to the folks at the Ministry of Home Affairs. And then, you'll see all the statuses, and if you had a previous application approved, etc., you will see all the things here. And then you'll also see partially filled applications if the same email ID was used. So I am just showing you again, like I had like an partially filled application from the past, and that's basically showing up there. So again, if you're new registration, you click on online registration, new registration, Indian origin applicant, right? You basically directly select that and you begin your application process. Again, you are following the right, there's always eligibility criteria, documents required. Make sure again you read through this. They show it again and again, but again, still people make mistakes. So after going through that, hit apply. And again, follow the right information. Just make sure you fill in block letters, etc. in the application, written application, image sizes, as I mentioned, formats, etc. Just say, I have read the instructions, and then say proceed. And then you begin applying. So this actually, this 1 through 7 step is new, which is actually very helpful, I feel. Thank you again for people who did this. Your registration part 1, part 2, photo upload, registration form part B, document upload, you verify. and then you hit final submission. So I'll go through as many steps as possible. Obviously, I won't submit this because they're actually tracking this application. So I'm just showing you, if you're applying for yourself, self, place of submission, USA. If it whatever other country is applicable, if you're applying there, make sure you select that right. And then obviously the mission selection is very important. So make sure on the VFS site and like on the website of the embassy, you make sure you are submitting to the right mission. So after that, select the correct mission. I'm just again showing you an application just to go through, hit surname, given name, as per passport, give all the minute details. Fill country of birth, place of birth. Give it again as per your birth certificate. Or if you're, just follow the right things. If you're born in India, obviously you will enter that, whether it's Delhi, Bombay, etc. Enter the right passport number, date of issue, date of expiry, and then the place of issue usually is United States Department of State or USDOS. Enter your parents' information, mom, dad, their nationality, their profession, whatever their last profession was, or there is a retired option if they're already retired. Again, follow exactly what your situation is. I'm just showing you a sample. Just enter, country of birth, for example, here is United States, but technically it should be India if you're applying for OCI. So make sure all those things are correctly selected. And if you don't select anything now, they are calling out that error, which is very useful for someone to figure it out. So page 1 is done, so that page becomes green with a check. You go to the next one. Enter your correct address per your driver's license. City, state, street address, zip code, and also mobile number. Save and continue. Now you come to the upload page. So part 1, registration part, page 1 and 2 is over. You come to the photo and sign upload. I mentioned, make sure you need to upload your image, JPEG format. You just make sure it's under 1000 KB. Adjust it to a 2x2. Again, it should be white in the background. This is just a sample image. And then same with the signature. It should be this pixel exactly like a rectangle. Make sure you crop it and you hit upload. And if everything is right, it'll show you a success. And click only once. Don't click multiple times because some people have said that, I haven't gotten. See, you should see exactly like this. And if you want to re-upload, there is an option. So if everything looks good, save and continue. Go to the form part B. Answer all these questions to the best of your ability. All the details should be accurate. Make sure you don't give any incorrect information. And then, if there's anything that doesn't match, there's going to be delays and potentially you may not even get it. So just give them the right information. These are all standard questions. If any situation applies to you, please give the right information. Present nationality, how did you get the US citizenship? You can say naturalization, give the right date, and this date should match your naturalization certificate, which you will also upload and also send a physical copy. So they will verify everything. Previous nationality, right? Obviously Indian national, which is why you are getting, and then again here they asked you the renunciation number or your renounced passport number. Make sure you have all those information right next to you when you do this application. Now it's the fifth step, document upload. So this is, you have almost reached the completion. Here, proof of present citizenship, you have to put these three documents. So once you start, so cancelled or surrendered Indian passport, make sure those soft copies are ready, and then you make sure it's under 1000 KB in PDF format. Once you hit up, choose that file and upload. If things look great, it will show you a success message. And keep uploading as many documents that are eligible to you and is valid to you. They have reduced the number of upload documents from my own observation, but make sure whatever your application requires, make sure you upload as many as possible. So here again, this is for minor specifically. So this last section, you have to make sure proof of present citizenship and then evidence of address, all the applicable documents are uploaded here. So it's the old Indian passport, your naturalization certificate, and your current passport. These are the three here. And then evidence of address, as you saw there, a bill or your driver's license, etc. And then once you hit, document upload, you should go to the next step, which is verify. It'll be a big verification. And if all the information looks right, you hit final submit. I'm not going to do that here. Again, this is just a application to show you. Once that's complete, you will get a PDF in your email, and you will also see a PDF on your homepage. After you receive everything, and if your information is right, go to the VFS site for your payment. You need the ARN number that is correctly generated. And if you don't have an account, you will register as a new account. I'm just showing you like the pop-up that came here prior to registration. So you give all your personal details as you see on the screen, hit all the terms and conditions, the CAPTCHA, and then you hit submit. And then in case you already have a login, if you have a login, if you renounced and if you have a login created, same account can be used. Log in and just enter the CAPTCHA and get into the VFS site to complete your payment. And here on the home page, you will see these four options. So you say create new application. These two options will be pre-selected, and then you will hit the mission again, center or mission. Same, you make sure the same mission as where you hit apply. What is the application? OCI. Under OCI, it's a new application, whatever is applicable. If this is, and then obviously this is going to be postal. You're going to submit it through courier. Then you select online, and then you hit continue, and then you hit another page. You will add a customer here. So in this case, you yourself will be a customer. But if you're applying for your kids, you can use your account and your kid can be your as a customer. So here is where you enter that ARN number form. Once you successfully submit the form, make sure you submit the same thing here. Your US passport number, your date of birth, passport expiry, first name, middle name, last name, exactly as per passport. Gender, your father's full name, mobile number, email ID, state. And then once you hit submit, your customer profile will be created as a new customer for the application with this new ARN number. Once you do that, you click on that, there will be a credit card page. You punch in the credit card number, and then you will submit it. So once you made the payment, make sure before you pay, all your application looks good and no mistakes are there, right? Because once you make the payment, then it becomes complicated. So you finished the 3 steps. You went through the document checklist, you went through the government form, and we also went through the payments. So once you finish all these 3 major steps, make sure you get all your documents ready, your physical documents ready into a package. Once you get that, you make sure you print your courier labels through the same VFS portal. You will see that there is download courier labels that will appear. once you finish the payment and you are ready to go, and you put it all in a FedEx packet, and then you go ahead and drop it. It's a prepaid label for back and forth, so you will make sure that when you submit it, government can send it to you back. So with that, I think we covered all the three major areas. There is obviously change in the process if you compare to the 2021 version, and there's a lot many changes that I covered here. Hopefully this simplifies the process, gives you enough information. Again, this is not any legal advice. Do as per your current situation and your individual use case. This is just a help video, and if you need additional help and if you appreciate this, please put in a comment, hit a like, subscribe to the channel, help me out a little bit, and then I will see you in the next video. Till then, take care, keep traveling, be safe, and help each other. Thank you so much.